Welcome to this week's Dose of Emuna for Shabbat Kodesh. The question today that I ask is, do you really wait for Shabbos? How much do we really love Shabbos? Is there a clear way of us understanding, do we really feel Shabbos coming in? Question, do we really feel when Shabbos goes out? That's really the question here today, because Shabbat is a day of being. It's not a day of doing. So it's not about what we do. It's not about what we don't do. It's about being in a day with Hashem. How do we feel about that? Are we relaxed? Are we tense? Let's explore that whole concept right now, and let's understand whether or not we can answer that question with a full heart, because we really want to have a strong affection for Shabbat. We really want to know and understand the holy feelings that we're supposed to feel, right? We all really do. Well, unfortunately, in today's world, so many of us go through the idea of keeping Shabbat with a half heart. We sigh at the moment of thinking about the preparations of Shabbat. We think to ourselves, how am I going to be able to make it through the day and prepare for Shabbat? And instead of looking at it of a day of preparation, in other words, the preparations for that amazing day Shabbat, looking at it as a day of pleasure, we dread it as a day of difficulty, of preparation to get there. So what we really need to do is redefine the whole day of what it means on this day to just be. To serve Hashem, not by changing the world, but just by relaxing into what is already there. And in order to get to that point where you can relax in what's already there, it requires for us to do in order to get there. And if you look at it, Shabbat really dictates the idea of truth of the Jewish soul. We're not here in this world to do anything else but feel Hashem's presence. So there really isn't the idea of halfway feeling Shabbat or not so much feeling Shabbat. We either feel Shabbat or we don't. We either anticipate it or, God forbid, we dread it. And there are people that actually look at the clock and say, when is Shabbat over? So I call upon all of us to think about it. How do we feel? Are we focused? Are we happy? Are we saying, wow, Shabbat is already here? Or are we dreading the idea of stopping? How do we feel about stopping? Do we like stopping? Do we feel like stopping is a good thing? Or do we keep wanting to do? So Shabbat basically forces us, as they say, to save the marathon for another day, to walk more slowly, to notice a little more, to look at the things that during the week we may hide from wanting to see: our children, our shalom Beit, our home, what's important. Does our family get along only when there are disturbances, TV in the background, music playing in the background? Or can we really see our family on Shabbat and be happy with what we see? I'll end with this. Rabbi Nachman of Breslov said something really beautiful. He says, quote, "The world is full of light and mysteries, both wonderful and awesome, but our tidy little hand shades our eyes and prevents them from seeing. Shabbat is a day for moving away the hand, moving away that pull of the ego, and really being able to look at things, look at life for what they really are, and appreciate and see, can I relate to it? Do I have nachat from it? Something to think about. Have a wonderful Shabbat Kodesh.